Because it's more than anything.
I see you there.
People hired,
Yeah.
you know, attorneys,
Every other Monday.
long time ago.
Oh, you there?
They was just.
No. Not there. It's not out there. You're there.
Yeah, that's right, that's, yeah, I know that one. You're with the, with the.
Whenever we go, and the,
Yeah, we did.
What's your mom?
She doing fine. I will.
She just very.
On the north, so.
She took that fall a couple of years ago.
I think we saw
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, she don't trust it anymore. She just.
How did that not work good? I'm not in the
Yeah,
business.
it's like she.
It was on the paper. Why so many calls on the.
That's kind of like
Then
that.
he went around picking up the.
He was every day, he was.
It's not about his life.
It's not a
So now.
Oh, it's not?
There is.
It's all about furniture.
But he.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
It's kind of good.
Like,
I get, yeah.
He loves people, so that's kind of hard for him not being able to do this.
Don't put it on that
And
drive.
then
Same
that's
track.
full range.
Okay.
Put it on there, like, you just grab it on one end, put it on.
So just to go on and talk.
Does your truck drive, do they report? This will be a drain? And these guys. Oh.
Does it happen every time?
Oh, for tonight?
You said off the record.
Oh, that's exactly how it is. And I hear it hurt, I hear it hurt.
All right, I mentioned that.
That's all right.
Let's see what's going on.
Okay. Right off the last
Should be able to information.
Okay.
September. I'm not free. I voted. Thrown out there. You live your home. Yeah. Why? That's why. Yeah, people get, of all the practices. So I named himself.
There you go.
Yes, I.
Did you laugh?
Yeah.
That's, you know,
Thomas. Spanish girl.
You married a tax girl.
Spanish. Mom.
Yeah.
Who's name?
Gentlemen.
And that's now, huh? It's just long longer. Coast, yeah.
But it's really.
I live with you.
And how many children?
Wow.
The crew that arranged.
Yeah, one of us.
They're all coast.
They were, and,
Well,
I know.
I have one child.
You got one now. Okay, you got
Play with them.
family, children.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I give you back. Hey, you know, Sue. Hey, man. Hey, Joe. Whatever you did, you do them all walk and sound.
Cold.
Water.
Oh, okay.
Jimmy. He's fancy.
How are you?
Twenty-five.
I've run the same very, very rough.
Okay.
She's in law school.
Yes, it's still.
Oh, yeah, just.
You go out of order for you.
Oh, miss.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
Who did?
rollers.
Oh.
He told me we're having it from
I
the
guess
top.
that's about it.
Yes. So the whole funny thing with that was that looked like a full name, you know, so.
It's just this and add to that.
Well, he sent me,
For
he
part-time.
sent it to me.
You gonna add it?
What? Cause I'm gonna talk to her a while back. Where's the? So, yeah. I'll add that.
What I do, man, let them come.
Huh?
I said, what I do, man, just. Let the sun with you.
He gotta stop sending himself on Friday.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'm not calling. I just trying to pull it. Yeah, yeah, I thought it's the straps and gray hair. Yeah.
I miss Luke.
Sheriff, he's bringing extra.
2 seconds, get that? I got one of my different college, but like Caroline?
Yes.
Yeah, she lives in there.
Yeah, not too far.
Yeah,
Yeah, we do it. We love it.
kind of out, yeah.
Wrong with them
It's from, I mean, they're things popping up.
Instead of moving.
Yeah.
No, she gonna get you late, she gonna sit there.
That's my phone. I don't know what they sell people airplane. This my time.
Yeah, one
New Year and freedom of the place.
Tia said he would be on the phone.
He called him.
I thought yours were beautiful.
How you doing? Good.
What's happening?
I know.
Oh, yeah, I like it.
That's what we've received.
Okay. I don't have any more emails from me, so.
Yeah. No, actually, she's actually in New York. Yes.
Kevin, what's your last name? MCL. All right. Thanks. Bless you. Here, take one of these. Oh. That's why. All right, does anybody want to get the shield on phone? You get them. Mr. Jefferson already? What you see over there is an agreement from the county to do the election. You can look it over there. Did you see that album?
Oh, we didn't want to 3 minutes.
Everyone, the meeting of Mayor and Board of Aldermen is now called to order. First, we'll have prayer, and I'll ask Reverend Rainey, will you lead us in prayer, please?
Most gracious Heavenly Father, we're calling on you tonight, Lord, first of all, just to tell you thank you, God. We thank you for allowing us to come out today, Father. We thank you for this city called Holly Springs, Father. We ask that you keep your hedge of protection around each and every one of us, Father. We are all family here together, Father. We ask you to bless these leaders that are sitting on the board right now, God. Keep your hedge of protection around each and every one of them, God. And lead and guide us in the way you would have us to go, Father. We know you can and we believe that you will. In your mighty Son, Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Rainey. Roll call, please.
Alderman Fountain.
Present.
Alderman Jones.
Present.
Alderman Shipp.
Present.
Alderman Teal. Alderman Merriweather.
Present.
Mayor, you have all board members present.
That's wonderful. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, I want to ask for prayers for bereaved families in our community. First, for the family of Mr. Wallace and Mrs. Lurleen Freeman. Prayers for the family of Mr. Travis Sanchel Brooks. Prayers for the family of Mr. Roy Dale Davis. Prayers for the family of Mr. Willie Hugh Pooey. Prayers for the family of Mr. Ernest Lee Hudson. Prayers for the family of Mrs. Mary Hankins Mitchell. Prayers for the family of DeMarco Marcel Shaw. Prayers for the family of former U.S. President Jimmy Carter. So can we have a moment of silence, please? And thank you. We do have the agenda before us. We have bids. Madam City Clerk, did we receive any bids?
Yes, ma'am.
How many did we receive?
Five.
All right, and we'll come back to those and take those first, okay? All right. First, I'll entertain the adoption of the agenda, but we do have a few things to add. As item number 6A, an update on the resolution to do roads of an MOU with the county, with the ARPA funds. Then we also have 7A, motion to authorize the hiring of Ms. Stinson, part-time in the police department as a dispatcher. She's a former employee for the city. Then item number 6.
Letitia.
Ms. Letitia.
What number is it?
This can be 7A.
Yeah, 7 a.m.
That's under the, that's under the minutes.
7B.
7B and 7A.
Well, it's not related to it, so, and then also 7B, motion to authorize the hiring of Mr. Derek Thomas as Parks and Recs Director. All right. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda as amended?
One more thing, can we move public comment up? Left.
Well, most of the people who do public comment ask for it to be moved. May I ask the reason for it? They said that they want to have an opportunity to see the business and move it up. It's a short meeting, so, but what is the rationale of the concern, I should say?
Well, most of the time, public comment, people are commenting on what transpired in the meeting.
Mhm.
And I think it just should be their own comment on what they have to bring before us, not critique on what's going on.
But public comment is just that, as far as that people are allowed to come and speak on whatever's on their mind and issues with the city. as to if they have some concerns or what's happening in the meeting, or sometimes people come to make announcements as to the activities that they have in the community. And so, and it's an opportunity for us to get feedback from the community.
According to the procedural ordinance, Madam Clerk, where's your public comments be?
I think according to the procedure ordinance, I think it's at the top. But I don't have the ordinance before me to.
That will be my rationale. Of course, my other rationale or concern would be the usage of purpose of the public comment. Lately, it's been a griping session, my opinion. And I think it's an opportunity for us to hear from our public.
I'm still.
Oh,
It's very close down.
I feel that it's an opportunity for us to hear from our public, and then, of course, provide some resolve. Lately, it's been a session where one or two, or maybe two mainly, have come before the board, and it's a continuation of lashing out at the board for personal reasons, in my opinion, and that's not the purpose of the public comment. Of course, motion would be, and it's not a motion, but if that's how we're going to continue to do public comment, to take it off and to provide some other way that the public can get their questions to us. I even spoke about cards where they can write their concerns and give it to their particular board member, that we can address those concerns. But it's not a griping session. It's not a session an opportunity to lash out. I don't feel at the board members or a particular board member. It is to get problems resolved, noted and resolved. And so,
All right, let me get to that.
excuse me, let me finish, please. But that is my thinking or thoughts on the public comment.
Thank you.
I do know what you mean.
It's just, when you added 70, I just, you didn't give a salary.
I didn't have one. Alderman Sheff had brought it forward, and so I didn't have one.
4,305.
So what happened?
43,000.
All right, and in regard to the public comment, it is, of course, it was my recommendation to put it on the agenda in the first place. It is an opportunity for we talk about transparency and allowing the public to be a part of the process. And so, and I hear you all complaining about the last few months as far as people complaining and lashing out and addressing it personally, but I definitely have endured the bulk of it. And still, based on campaigning and talking to people about being transparency, I mean, I've had people talk about being personal, not only from people in public comment, but from others as well. And there was no issue as long as it was directed at myself. So I think that as we look at it, definitely as far as any attempt to remove it, I think it's something that the public definitely should be concerned about, especially as we go into the season that is at hand. And we're always talking about being transparent and being accountable. This is a process of allowing people to do it. One of the things is that allowing people to do it and then move on. As Attorney Perry reminded everyone of the other week via the phone. And that way you don't have the going back and forth. But I have endured it myself, but still I stand by the decision and the recommendation to have public comment. My Lord, one night the whole room was signed up to talk about things that they felt like that I was responsible for. And still, because I was elected to this seat, and I understand that in that, some people are going to have comments that are positive, some are going to have comments that are not. Sometimes more vocal people who have concerns will actually come and sign up for comment, for public comment, because we put it here. We said we want to be transparent. I heard some of the recommendations. Cards don't do the trick as far as giving it to someone because it does not put it out, and people will be selective about what they present, especially if it is a concern that is saying that someone is not doing something that the person thinks they should be doing. And I put that in there because everyone has their own opinions and becomes, it's a subjective matter as to whether or not people are meaning to be personal or not being personal. And then we also have to watch ourselves and set the tone, as I've said before, in regard to it and allow the meeting to be governed. But that is the rationale of that. It is allowing people to say whatever is on their mind. Some people use it for things that we might think they shouldn't. There have been nights that I've sat here and wished too that I said to myself, what was I thinking? But at the same time, I've never regretted having it on here because at least in that moment, people have been able to express themselves, get it out of their system. So what's your pleasure?
Well, I don't mind people expressing themselves. What's more important than just expressing yourself is presenting a resolution or a problem that you want resolved. Not here to just talk about how stupid somebody sounds, how ignorant somebody sounds. That's not the purpose of public comment, in my opinion. It's to get a resolve, and that is why I agreed that public comment, having it on the agenda every meeting, would be so apropos or appropriate for us as a board to hear from the constituents and to resolve their problems, to hear what's on their heart. And that's what we want to do. But we can't spend the 3 minutes or 6 minutes or however many people come to share their concern with arguing back and forth because someone has called names or something of that nature. That's out of the decorum of a meeting. It's not with the procedural ordinance of our meeting. And so that was my concern. But I do think it is important that the citizens are heard. And I do think that it should be at the top as a procedural ordinance dictates.
I'm not opposed to public comment whatsoever. I mean, people, they're gonna say what they're gonna say, but I think it's more so about the decorum in regards to the decency in which public comment is conducted. If the expectation is for citizens to voice their concerns and they do it respectfully, I think if we did that in the beginning, making certain that when whoever's on public comment, when they come up, they don't slander, they got legitimate concerns. If that had been the culture to begin with, and we were consistent in regards to how we regulated that, I don't think it would be such a problem in regards to public comment itself. I think it's just more so of, some people having or some board members having a concern with some of the things that's being said and, things just kind of being blown out of proportion and attacking people, character and defaming and things of that nature. They're just, some of their concerns in regards to that. I don't have an issue with it. Everybody don't have thick skin though. But we are here to conduct the business of the people. You can say what you want to say, and we're going to try our best to do this.
I just know some of
And
the
one
things
of the
that,
reasons as well is too, that there was a habit of us losing quorum. And so for me, let's take care of the business that we have to take care of and then get to that. So that's another rationale for it, because at one point in time, that was an issue as far as losing a quorum. And so my position is take care of the business first, but also it is good to have the opportunity to get the feedback. And we also ourselves must refrain from some of the disparaging behavior and comments. And I know because it didn't feel good for me when people were saying things, or even employees were allowed to come up if they were upset about something. And so you are correct about that, Alderman Jones, that is part of the issue of being consistent with no matter who it is. That being said, I'm looking for a motion to either adopt the agenda as amended. What is your pleasure in this night? Because as I mentioned, my time is short, and so we don't want to spend the entire meeting on there. So what is your pleasure regarding public comment?
All I ask was to move it up, so that's my request. I don't mind people voicing their opinion,
Mhm.
but don't come and critique the meeting on what's going on today and try to criticize people. It's for people, constituents that have problems or whatever,
Do you
bring
see
it to us.
You see the city attorney looking at you.
I mean,
That's exactly what public comment is
right,
for.
I mean, you gonna have some.
That's what it's
some
for. The
criticism.
name, free comment, and
Now, the
That's what
name
we're talking
calling
about.
it bad,
There could be.
things of that nature.
You say
That's
something.
fine.
Right.
Purpose
We
of what you
have-
call, coming-
right, and we have to refrain from that as well, from doing some of that, and I think that it's gotten better. But that's exactly what the purpose of it is for, whether it's something positive or whether it's a critique of it. It's a subjective matter. And so, but Alderman, Ship, you requested as far as that it be moved forward. Make your recommendation as to where, so we can move forward tonight, and then we'll look at it at another moment, because as I mentioned, I will be,
Yeah, let's move it up to, make it, 2A. Okay,
is that a motion?
yes. I move the public comment be moved up to 2A.
A second.
It's been moved by Alderman Schiff, second by Alderman Merriweather to move public comment to 2A. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 5 ayes, 0 nays.
Is that
All
gonna,
right.
is that gonna be a standard practice or is it just for tonight?
Standard.
Okay. So you probably don't want it as 2A then. You might just want it from now on to be
Just for.
the second, 'cause that way, whatever,
We shall
if
see.
that's what you.
All right, is there a motion to adopt the agenda as amended?
Madam Mayor, I move that we adopt the agenda.
Is there a second? Second. It's been moved by Alderman Schiff, second by Alderman Teal. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 5 ayes, 0 nays. Item number 1, motion to authorize fire and police assistance and necessary street closures for the annual William A. McMillan Walk Run 5K on April 19th, 2025.
Madam Mayor, I move to motion to authorize the fire and assistance and necessary street closures for the annual William A. McMillan Walk Run 5K on April 19th, 2025.
Second.
It's been moved by Alderman Merriweather, second by Alderman Schiff. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5 ayes, 0 nays. At this point, I am going to go to Mr. Kevin McLeod for the bids. I just remembered you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Kevin McLeod, Elliott and Bridge Engineering. We're here tonight to open up 2 separate bids. We have 2 bids for the city services and 3 bids for solid and bulky waste. I've got copies of the proof of publication of the bids for the record, if anybody wants to see those as well. Okay. We'll start with the city services bids. We have 2 bids. As a reminder, there were many city services in the bid packet. The bidders were asked to bid on those items that they wanted to provide to the city. So the first one is from Bain and Company out of Holly Springs. And they have proposed prices, it appears, for public works, equipment, dozers, etc. So their quote for mini excavator work per hour, $115. Skid steer work per hour, $115. Track hoe work per hour, $185. Tractor and pan work per hour, $185. Dozer work per hour, $145. Mack dump truck 10-wheeler per hour, $125. Mack dump truck 18-wheeler per hour, $145. Supervisor per hour, $65. Operator per hour, $45. Laborer per hour, $25. And that's the end of the Bain and Company quote. Next quote packet is from Falcon Contracting Company Incorporated out of Columbus, Mississippi. And they are bidding on asphalt paving, asphalt leveling, coal milling, and concrete coal milling.
What company was that, sir?
That company was Falcon Contracting Company Incorporated. For asphalt paving services, 19 millimeter hot mix asphalt, 0 to 100 tons, $290 per ton. 101 to 300 tons, $199 per ton. 301 plus tons, $178 per ton. For 12.5 millimeter hot mix asphalt, 0 to 100 tons, $309. For 101 to 300 tons, $215 per ton. For 301 to 500 tons, $194 per ton. 501 plus tons, $184 per ton. 9.5 millimeter hot mix asphalt, 0 to 100 tons, $305. 101 to 300 tons, $215 per ton. 301 to 500 tons, $195 per ton. 501 plus tons, $185 per ton. 19 millimeter hot mix asphalt leveling, 0 to 100 tons, $290 per ton. 101 to 300 tons, $199 per ton. 301 to 500 tons, $178 per ton. 12.5 millimeter hot mix asphalt leveling, 0 to 100 tons, $305 per ton. 101 to 300 tons, $215 per ton. 301 to 500 tons, $194 per ton. 9.5 millimeter hot mix asphalt leveling, 0 to 100 tons, $305 per ton. 101 to 300 tons, $215 per ton. 301 to 500 tons, $195 per ton. Coal milling of bituminous pavement, $6 per square yard. Coal milling of concrete pavement, $15 per square yard. Roadway patching, $225 per square yard. Those were the two bids for the city services. Move to the bulky and rubbish waste collection services. We have three bids here, or three quotes here. First one is from Waste Connections Incorporated. Quote from Waste Connections Incorporated. Small commercial, $11 per month per unit. Roll-off containers, $275 per roll-off per week. That was for storm debris removal. For collection of recyclables, for a roll-off container is $500 per roll-off per month. They have noted here $110 per ton as well under that item. For bulky and rubbish waste collection services at a frequency of 1 time per week per collection, $6.17 per month. The next quote is from Meridian Waste. For residential and small commercial solid waste collection and disposal services at a frequency of 1 time per week. Small commercial, $20.95 per month per unit. Roll-offs for storm debris removal, $450 plus disposal per roll-off per week. For collection of recyclables, no bid. For bulky and rubbish waste collection services at a frequency of 1 time per week collection, $7.50 per month. The final bid we have is from Waste Pro. For Waste Pro, for residential and small commercial solid waste collection and disposal services at a frequency of 1 time per week collection, residential and small commercial, $23.65 per month per unit. Roll-offs for storm debris removal, $550 per roll-off per week. Collection of recyclables, $800 per roll-off per month. For bulky and rubbish waste collection services at a frequency of 1 time per week collection, $13.27 per month. I would recommend that y'all take these under advisement for just a second. If you'll let me and Ms. Lewis, go in the back, we'll look through these and check them and come back with you with a recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 2 is motion to authorize transfer of Mr. Peter Taylor from full-time fireman to part-time fireman, with a salary of $12 per hour. Chief Frank, are you here? Is there a motion?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. Is there a motion?
I move to, authorize transfer of Ms. Nikita Taylor from full-time fireman to a part-time fireman with a pay rate $12 an hour. That's it.
It's the move by Alderman Fountain, second by Alderman Teal. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes 5 ayes and 0 nays. All right, next, public comment. All right. First up, Mr. Delbert, please come forward, state your name for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Well, good evening. My name is Delbert LeSure from Holly Springs, Mississippi. And I wasn't gonna, I wasn't going to say anything, but I'm just compelled to. First off, as a taxpayer in this city, I don't direct anything personally towards anybody. If I did that, I do apologize for that. If I got a social media account that if I decided, and when I do decide to go personally at someone, I do that. I don't have no account. This is not the platform for me to do that at. But when I come in here, I want to address issues that affect everybody. My parents that live here. For instance, I do a lot of public records requests for this city and also with the county. I did one recently with Miss Jones for Jolly Meters, the contractors that you have reading the meters. And it revealed to me that the city is actually paying this contractor for work that your employees, that you're already paying a salary and insurance for. You're paying the contractor duplicate, where the same people that you're paying, they're charging you for that work that they're doing. And so for me as a taxpayer in this city, that seems that should be a problem to everybody that's sitting up here. I do, in a way, I'm not sure whether or not people are actually reading these texts of what's in there as far as the invoices, but that's so important in the positions that you are filling. And so when you don't do that, when you don't like you come prepared for these meetings, it's disappointing. And sometimes people might say, well, you're lashing out. I don't call it that. I simply just, I reject that because, again, it's not personal. I've known most of you all my life. Seriously, I've known all of your families all of my life for sure. It's not anything personal. I do want to say that I have a social media account if I decide to do that, and if and when. But I do want to thank you all for finally hiring Blackman and Blackman. That was probably one of the best decisions that you made as far as protecting this city and the work that they have actually performed. I know that some people are omitting certain things, like Chris Brown. He's lying by omission right now. And that other fellow that's running around here with the ball in his top of his head, I don't even know his name, got a fake news channel or whatnot. They're lying by omission. And I would encourage people to actually look at the actual documents. Because on yesterday, they put out something that the Supreme Court had paved the way. But that's a lie by omission, in my opinion. They did not put the full document of the order from the Supreme Court. And so we got to be careful about misinformation.
Your 3 minutes are up.
Thank you for your time.
Next, Reverend Ricky Ramey, please come forward, state your name for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Mayor and Board.
Good evening.
Happy New Year to all of you guys. It's a new year, time for new things. I'm here tonight for a couple of reasons. I'm still asking for Center Street drainage to be cleared because of all the dirt and the debris that's down the road right at Lemac. Now the street completely floods anytime it rains. Because the sand is just continuing to build up on that road. And in the time that I've been coming and saying things about it, I've discovered that other people are starting to say things to me about their street. Over on Chesterman, there is a wash off on a brand new street. This street has been paved in the previous administration, but the street is breaking off and washing away to the point that it's now about 2 feet in the roadway. Someone went and put a cone there, and now the cone has washed away, and it's about maybe a 2.5 foot drop off right in the street on Chesterman, south of Highway 78 of Van Dorn as we know it, and on the east side of the roadway. And it's a very dangerous situation. If they were meeting a car and didn't see this drop off, and someone hits it, someone could get hurt very badly. Lastly, a couple of weeks ago, I was on Hudsonville Road, and there was a very bad water leak, and it just took me a phone call to call and ask someone to fix it, and they got fixed that exact same day. So I'm saying to all the citizens in Holly Springs that if you need someone to speak for you, feel free to call me. I'll come up and speak for you, to speak and do what needs to be done to take our city into the future and do what needs to be done for our infrastructure, our streets, all of that. I just want to see this city grow and move forward, and now's the time that we need to do it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next we have, city general bills and claims.
I'll move to pay the city general bill.
There's a second.
I'll second.
It's removed by Alderman Shipp, second by Alderman Fountain. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes 5 ayes, 0 nays. Item number 4, city utility bills and claims.
I move that we pay the city utility bill.
There's a second.
I'll second.
It's removed by Alderman Shipp, second by Alderman Fountain. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 5 ayes and 0 nays. Item number 5, motion to approve and authorize execution of election agreement with the Marshall County Circuit. It should just be Marshall County, Board of Supervisors. Yeah, signature line.
It is, and then they don't have the title of.
Just say, Marshall County, Board of Supervisors. Should you desire to make the motion.
Move to approve the authorized execution of the election agreement with the Marshall County Board of Supervisors.
Second.
It's been moved by Alderman Shipp and second by Alderman Teal. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 5 ayes, 0 nays. And then, just quickly, item number 6, update Mississippi Public Service Commission, just kind of generally. Nothing has really changed since we talked about it in the last executive session. The Blackman and Blackman Law Firm did file a motion for a stay, and our team is continuing to gather evidence and information. That's pretty much it. Nothing has changed since we met last week in executive session. Item number 6A, I did go to the meeting of the Board of Supervisors last week to discuss the funds that we set aside in ARPA for the repair of streets. That was very interesting. I had spoken with most of them before. They expressed that they were interested in doing so. Mr. Jeffries is going to meet with us on Thursday to look at the possible streets based on the cost that it's going to take. And so once he looks at that, and then we'll meet back. I have set up already to be on the agenda for their next meeting. So contingent on how many roads we'll look at, what IMS, they've already done an evaluation of the streets to tell what needs to be done. And we'll see how many they can do out of the amount that was set aside. So.
Question. So was that agreement lines with the rules for the opera fund? Was being able to be dated for?
So, that's a concern. I talked to some of you all about it. So as we talked about it later, it is something that we're going to hope and see. We did reach out and try to see as to, what different opinions we could get regarding that if the resolution that we put in place would take care of that. So we're hoping that it will. All right. Item number 7, motion to approve the December 17th, 2024 regular board meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Alderman Teal, second by Alderman Shipp. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes 5 ayes, 0 nays. Item number 7A is the motion to approve Ms. Stinson. I feel like I'm gonna mess your name up. Ms. Stinson, because I always call her Ms. Stinson, as a part-time employee in the Holly Springs Police Department as a dispatcher. And most of you all know Ms. Stinson. She's worked with the city before part-time, and so she moved on to work more so in her field full-time, but she has put in a request to return on a part-time basis. there a motion?
I move to, hire Ms. Letitia Still, part-time dispatcher for the Holly Springs Police Department.
Second.
It's been moved by Alderman Fountain, second by Alderman Merriweather. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 5 ayes, 0 nays. All right, item number 7B, motion to hire Mr. Darrell Thomas as the Parks and Recs Director. All right. And I see Mr. Thomas is here. And I think it was mentioned the salary was at 43,500.
And about our, interim or acting director, will he just return back to his
Well,
regular
he was done as assistant.
assistant? Okay.
We didn't put anyone there. I guess one of the questions would be when the budget was redone to make sure something was there, but I guess we can look at that another day. Is there a motion?
Question. So the assistant, was that, an interim or that was the assistant
I
position?
think it was done as interim.
Right, so it needs to be a motion. It needs to be.
All right, can we take care of Mr. Thomas? Consideration of him. All right, is there a motion regarding Mr. Thomas?
Yeah, I move to hire and appoint Mr. Darrell Thomas as Parks and Rec Director. I'd rather pay of $43,500.
Second.
It's moved by Alderman Schiff, second by Alderman Merriweather. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? 5 ayes and 0 nays. All right, and then we'll add, Alderman Fampton has requested to do an additional motion. Thank you, Ms. Thomas, if you'll give me a call tomorrow. Item number 7C, we can do that for the next one to appoint Mr. Reggie Bird from interim to at the actual assistant director is what you.
Yes, I will. I don't know if we have to amend the agenda for that. If not, I can do it for next meeting.
Well, let's just do it at the next meeting.
Okay.
All right, and next we've already done public comments. We have, director reports. Are there any directors who have reports, and you're limited to 3 minutes? Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Board, right on time. Sometimes I get lucky. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Hope everybody, enjoy that. I got, can I pass one of these out for everybody, please?
Go ahead and pass it out because the time running.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, 10. And these too. Matter of fact, give me one of them. Thank you. Sorry.
Each one has 6 copies then.
Yeah, each one has copies.
So you just get, okay.
Yeah, everybody gets one. Everybody.
I know.
Already. Only one.
No.
Mr. Jones, while that's being cast out, do the time, go ahead.
Okay. On the sheet, this is my report for January 7th. We're going to start out with our positives. We paid TVA again, which takes us twice a month, but we paid them $700,000. So they've been paid not for the current month, but for the last month. We still owe them for December now, but we'll be able to pay them then too.
Can you speak into the microphone?
Oh, okay. We
Just
paid
bring it down.
we paid TVA $700,000. We made our in lieu of taxes payment of $150,000. And the other thing that I've done that's positive is that I have defined the right of way for what the contractors are going to cut. What that means is that rather than paying by the hour or by the mile, they are going to pay by the area that they actually cut, because I have pictures of the areas that they're going to cut. We're going to have before and after pictures of a specific area with a specific price that they are going to cut for. So we'll know exactly how much right of way has been cut for the amount of money that we are going to pay, because they are going to come out this month and they are going to look at the areas that we have designated that they are going to cut. They're going to stay on one line, cut that one line, and whatever the price is for that, then they cut that, they'll get another contract. Now, this only is up to the $435,000 that we have. But that's it. That's the positive as far as that's
So what
concerned.
contract are you referring to?
I had to modify the right-of-way contract that we currently use with CMM Bush hogging, because I didn't do it by hour or by
You don't
by
have the
mile.
authority legally to modify the contract, Mr. Thomas.
Oh well.
Yeah, that's outside of,
Just bring it to the board.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna bring it to the board. Nobody signed the contract yet.
he's saying that he's already done it. And one of the things we want to make sure of as well, especially with what we're dealing with right now, with the bogusness at the Public Service Commission, is to make sure that we don't interfere with what the contractor has been doing has been working. So we know that he's been cutting it because we have fewer and fewer outages. What we want to make sure of is that there's no interference with that expertise that they have and that they're utilizing. So this is the first that I've heard of an attempt from you lately for that. I know you tried that once before. One of the things, though, is that once the contract has been executed, you can't just decide on yourself on one side to change that. And we also don't want to interfere with the work that has been done, because we've had fewer and fewer outages. And so I don't want to go back to that. One of the things, too, as far as where's our in-house team working? Mr. Chester, LaSure and his team, what side are they on?
Currently, they're cutting where Mr. Humphreys tells them to cut, as far as the right-of-way is concerned. I am speaking of new contractors for cutting right-of-way, Mayor Gibson. I am not speaking of changing anything that Mr. Phillips or CMM Bush hogging is doing or done. But I had to modify that contract so that they can cut
So I guess I'm
for a
confused.
specific amount.
When you say that you're modifying the contract, and that means that you're referring to one that's in existence.
That's right, the one that you shared with me, the one for CMM Bush hogging.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're modifying it to fit a new contractor, or are you saying that you're attempting to
New
modify it
contractor.
with-
It's a new
So,
contractor.
When was the new contractor hired?
They haven't been hired. I got 3 new contractors waiting in the wings that are going to have to bid. They're going to have to bid on what it is we want them to do.
I think you put the cart before the horse on how he's explaining it.
Contract. You're talking about the language of the contract that you're modifying. What about the contract? The language
I-
therein? Or what?
The method that we are paying them.
Okay, I think what you're trying to get at is that you have a proposal in regards to a contract that you feel will be suitable for whoever's bidding.
Yeah, okay, wrong one.
Right, that's the
Yeah,
way
that's it.
to-
Oh, yeah, it's a proposal.
Right.
Yeah, it's a proposal.
Said he had 3 people waiting in the wings.
Well, I do have 3 people. I've been talking to them and they ready to
It has
bid.
be open to everybody, so
Yeah,
please don't
so-
use that language.
Right. So instead of saying modifying the contract, just make it,
It's a new.
Trying to
because it's a
retrofit.
collaboration with yourself and the mayor and the board of aldermen, so you don't just.
Right, okay, so it's a
Right.
proposal.
So it's just the language. I understand what you're
Mhm.
saying, but just so, for the public purpose, Mr. Jones is just trying to collaborate in regards to the language of the contract with the board of aldermen. At some point, I'm assuming you'll bring a sample of that contract up.
Right, when
Maybe asking for a recommendation to make a motion on that particular sample.
that is correct.
And he knows he can't, he
He
doesn't
didn't say
have that authority.
But that,
Well.
He fast forwarded it.
I speak in engineering terms. That's what, you know.
Is that what you're saying?
I speak in engineering terms, that's
Okay,
all.
'cause I
So,
know you said you modified the contract.
right, but
initially.
proposal is a good word. I agree.
Right, okay.
was not saying that was
And-
engineering.
And for clarity's sake.
No,
there-
I speak in
hold on,
engineering
hold on.
terms, Mayor.
You want to be clear on the, while you're talking, there is no criticism currently of the CMM.
Right,
the
there is no
contract.
criticism of that.
So
No.
there's no reason for him to
Well,
try to.
I wanted to
change that.
clear that up because they've been doing an excellent job. We know that with
Mm.
all the lights that have been staying on. But one of the things when I asked him which one, he said CNM. And so that's why I wanted to get clarification. He may have misspoken, but that's what came out.
Well, I have
So,
to say,
go on. Hey, Ms. Johnson.
if I can make a comment there, I will say this because that's been one of my concerns, is, actual data on how much right of way has been cut in what specific areas, and your ability to share with us exactly where the right of way has been cut, what's your next step, your plan two, even if it comes from C&M, Bush Hogging, or whomever, that we get some raw data and some good data. So I really can appreciate, and I heard you loud and clear, of up to $430,000, and that's the money that that Representative Faulkner chaired, getting that money from the state through TVA. So I understand what you're saying in terms of modifying or looking at the contracts to change the methodology or the method that we can see exactly what right of way has been cut. You say you're gonna cut this for this amount in the new contract. That's the proposal that you're giving. And that's what we will pay them for. That way we can have good data on where has been cut, how much we paid for that, and so forth and so on.
And-
So I can appreciate that thought.
And I anticipate, the reason I did it this way is because I anticipate getting asked the question, how much right of way has been cut for the money that you spent? And you got to have a measurement.
Absolutely.
You cannot be, you can't be humble, you can't be bumbling then.
Absolutely. So I get that part.
All right, Ms. Jones, carry on because we're just about out of time.
Again, I'm going to request, more money for the cutting the right of way. My three priorities are cutting the right of way, again, getting a new AMI system, and hiring and training new people. Training the people that we have and hiring the new people that we need. Those are my three priorities. So, that's it. I still want to enter into a service agreement with Atwell and Gent. They're the consulting firm as far as the engineering services that we need. Mr. Humphreys asks me every week, Mr. Jones, we need an engineering consultant. When are we going to get an engineering consultant that is geared to LPC, local power company electrical engineering? Is specific. We have an engineering consultant in IMS, which I have talked to, and they have been very cooperative with me when I talk to them. It's just that they don't have that LPC knowledge that Atwell and Gent has. So that's that.
They actually do, so let's be careful about
Well, I spoke to the mayor and I had the conversation.
They came up, now they ran into some people not wanting to share and show them everything. But they definitely have the expertise for it, but continue.
Okay. The other thing, I want permission from the board to hire 2 experienced linemen and 2 experienced servicemen, and then I want to hire 2 apprentice linemen and 2 apprentice servicemen. Right now, we've hired 1 more lineman and 1 groundsman, but we still started out with a line crew and a half. For the amount of work that we have to do, we need at least a minimum of 3 line crews and 3 service crews. And I would like to have more, but this is what I would like to hire these additional experienced linemen and experienced servicemen, and then apprentice linemen and an apprentice serviceman. That's what I would like to do.
Mayor, may I ask a question?
Go ahead, Alderman Tito.
I just want to clarify, do you have those people ready, or are you just saying you're wanting to search for those people at this point?
I want to get permission to hire those people. I don't have them ready. No, I gotta get
When
them.
you have them and we have the applications, that's when you bring them forward. We will not approve them without saying who they are, without seeing applications.
Or can I get permission to advertise?
That's what you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, permission to
I
advertise.
don't think we're ever in a bad spot to be looking for linemen or journeyman linemen.
And we continue to do that.
So I'm perfectly fine with looking for those people.
Okay. I am still requesting that, okay, I'm sorry, was he finished?
Yes, when they say, okay, you're just moving past it, right?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
In order for him to, if the,
Oh, you gotta make a motion.
if y'all are trying to get him to advertise, then it needs to be a motion. If not, then you need to put.
You know how long you want to run the advertisement.
Until it's full.
So. Okay. I agree. No, because in my motion, I want to know how long you're gonna have to advertise it and what paper and what platform. I will put that in my motion. So
Okay, go on and put in your motion.
I don't know. And give it to me. Because when we normally advertise, where, I mean, we just do South Florida. If it's a certain electrical power company or a group of people that does do this, then we would want to know where.
You can do specific ads.
Okay. We'll come back.
Okay. I would still like to hire Chris Mitchell, MC Consulting Firm, to help us with our local rate plan. The next thing is that this is a request for Mr. Tracy Reynolds and Mr. Jamario Beard to attend the National Gas Association Magna Trade Show. The last time I mentioned this I didn't mention the travel and the per diem, but they need travel and per diem. And this is going to be on February the 12th through February the 13th. And they get hours toward their training as far as operation certification is concerned. And that's Mr. Tracy Reynolds and Mr. Jamario Beard to attend the National Gas Association trade show.
It was already approved for them to attend.
Okay, and with the per diem and travel?
You may be asking now for per diem.
Yeah, I'm asking now for per diem because I didn't mention that last time.
What if I may, I'll stop and make that motion to authorize travel per diem for Mr. Tracy Reynolds and Jamario Beard to attend the gas training on February 12th through 13th, 2025. Where's that?
It's in Tupelo, Mississippi. Yes, in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Well,
Yeah, because they don't have to stay overnight. It's in Tupelo.
what is that mileage enough?
They don't get mileage for that. If they're going to Tupelo,
They just get per diem.
They just get per diem. They don't get
Okay.
charged.
Just not be per diem. You wouldn't-
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to ask you.
Oh, okay.
So it's just per diem.
Per diem.
Let me amend that motion.
Sorry.
For per diem.
all right, is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Alderman Fountain, second by Alderman Schiff. All those in favor?
Uh,
All those opposed?
Oh.
5 ayes, 0 nays. All right.
Next on the list, we had one guy, Mr. Mark Lawrence, resigned. He's left the company. He was working with in the drainage group with Mr. Burt. I am requesting that we move some folks around at the utility department. I want Miss Renetta Mason to become the CRP for the TVA has been asking us for a customer resolution, the customer resolution
Why don't you
process.
vote off on those and possibly have an
We can
executive
take a look
session
at
if you're
that.
gonna do.
And then we already actually
Circulate
have
that,
somebody
and then-
who works as that type of individual out there. So if you will send all of that to me as per the protocol and the chain of command so that I can look at that so that we can see what we have already in regard to that.
Okay.
Because it's impossible to do this without looking at some proper paperwork. So if you'll email that to me, and if it's something that's acceptable, and then we can look at possibly at the next meeting.
Okay,
But you're passing on a lot of stuff without anybody looking at anything in writing or saying, and that leads to issues.
okay, well,
As well as the employees are not here to even express normally when these things are happening. People always want to know, well, what's the employee saying? But if you'll email those recommendations to me, then I'll look and then we'll see at the next meeting prior to that.
and I'll be happy to follow your protocol, Mayor. If you'll be happy to include me in your meetings when I show up, I could have introduced this information to you, and I do send it to you. And I would be more than happy to do this if you would provide me, the time to do this with you. That's why I bring this like this, because every time I show up at one of your meetings, you say, I'm not ready for you, Mr. Jones, and you
And so, Mr.
dismiss me.
Jones,
So
and let
I'm
me-
here,
okay,
and that's
and let
why
me
I'm
help you-
doing that.
And let me help you with that. You understand as to why that I do meet with you at different.
No, you don't meet with
And
me.
I talk, don't
No, that's
do that in this moment. Don't do that in this moment. But if you're going to share, some I can't share because it's personnel in regard to you, and which I have sent emails to you, so you understand and know why. One of the things, if you cannot show up for the meetings that I've requested with you, then you do not need to be at those. It is not optional. In addition to that, even answer the calls, even as of today. But I see that you found your way to calling me last night. But we won't do that here. There's a proper time and place. And I need you to understand that. And so we will talk about that later. But until the insubordination ceases, you will not be allowed to be a part of those meetings. I have special meetings for you. And I call you on a regular basis, and I've met with you on a regular basis, although you don't always show up, including the one where we talked about the issues for the Public Service Commission. So if you want to bring that up and do that, it's not the appropriate time for it, but please do not act as if you are not aware as to why. And with that, if you have anything else, we'll deal with that as far as this agenda, but you know as to why. So, and I'm very,
If
So
I
you
got
go-
one thing to say.
if you get
That's
the one
easy,
thing,
Mr.
you
Jones.
need to ask
Yeah.
to
That's
do
May
an
I
executive-
say one thing, board?
ask to do an executive session if
That's
you're
easy.
gonna,
I
if you're
want,
gonna do
I
it. And
want to
it
say
needs to
no,
be,
one thing.
that ceases that, Mr.
not
Jones.
at this meeting.
That ceases
You gotta
that.
do it the right
One
way.
more, and then we'll see.
If you have if there's a
I'm
complaint as a
cautioning you.
department head, you have to file it with the board of aldermen.
The
And have a
lies,
discussion
the
with it.
lies, the insinuation about my character, the character assassination, and the lies. I am sick of it. And it's getting me upset because I don't allow people to assassinate my character
There are employees here who can testify as to the behavior.
and
As
your
well as-
behavior
As
too.
well as there are videos in here.
But you gotta calm down.
You weren't bothered by my character when you were worried yesterday. And so that's all I'm going to say on that. Mr. Jones, I'm gonna ask you to leave the table.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you to step away from the table.
I have something for executive
Okay,
session.
step away from the table, Mr. Jones.
What you're gonna have to
We'll-
do
we'll-
is
we'll
follow,
Step away.
hold on.
We just had a lot of
Let's
talk
just do
about.
a point of order, Madam Mayor. Right now, it is, you're borderline insubordinate. You need to step away right now. And like I said, if there is a way to get your grievance couched with the board, do it with the board of aldermen, but not in that form. You
I
can't
have
do it like
matters
that.
for executive session.
Gotcha. And if they want to consider it, then they will consider it.
Thank you.
Are there any other directors who
I
have
wanted to
reports?
ask him about Jolly Meter Reading. You got an update on them?
Well, the update on the meter reading, what Jolly has been able to help us to do. If you look on your bills, like, for my bill, I got the bill 10 days before it was due this time. And the bills are gonna actually start coming, within the month that they're for. So the Jolly meter reading has helped us do that. The other meter readers that we are working on the weekend has helped us do that. We are actually catching up as far as being able to get the bills out on time. So they've been, Jolly meter reading has been part of that, as well as the people that we hired and the additional people part-time that are working on the weekend. We need all those people to keep reading, to keep the billing on time and as far as the meter reading is concerned. Pardon me?
How many crew members does Jolly Meter Reader have?
We have two now.
Two,
Yeah, two full-time.
so two full-time?
Mm-hmm.
So those two people reads roughly 4,000 meters in a 30-day.
No, man, no. All of them read that roughly. It's
You got two crew, I'm asking
okay.
how many crew
It's two
members?
people.
Two.
Two people.
Two
So just
people.
two people.
For Jolly, yes.
That's
And then we have our people that are reading meters, and we have the two additional part-time people that we
I'm asking
hire.
because we contracted out with Jolly Meter Reading, and they read over 4,000, well, roughly 4,000 meters in 1 month. Two people.
No, not by themselves. No, that's
Our people are
everybody.
still reading the meters to get to Alderman Jones' question. Our people are still reading the meters, including Mr. Marvin Burke is still, who is over drainage. And that's why, Mr. Ricky, you gotta wait a little bit longer. He is also reading a significant amount of the meters. So there are still people being pulled from other departments. But Jolly Meter Reading, on the best day, they normally only have two, contractors who show up. They have two representatives. So our people are still, I don't know if that was a question or not.
So I'm just, I don't know. How do we account for
66.
to making certain that they read X amount of meters?
Okay.
How
Well,
do we account for that?
okay. They,
Because I don't, the reason I say that is because if we got two people, and from looking at the bill, it's probably roughly 30 days maybe. And they read nearly 4,000 meters.
no, they ain't reading. That's,
I'm saying that's what the bill is reflected, is what I'm saying. So how do we account for the number of meters read? How are we certain that, I know for certain this company read X amount of meters.
okay. They record the number of meters that that they read. We record the number of meters that they read. I have the statistics that I am gathering that shows the percentage of rechecks that they have.
But what's the process in regards to the accountability on their part, is what I'm saying.
Okay, they submit their invoice for the number of meters that we read, that they read, and then we verify that. And we pay them for the number of meters that they actually read.
Who does verify?
Myself and Miss Jones, because she lets me know, and myself.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Jones. And next we'll go back to,
Because I got concern with that.
Okay.
next we'll have Mr. McLeod and and Ms. Lewis. They looked over the bids and now he's forward to let us know what, they got. Mr. McLeod.
So on the city services bids, we only received two. There were no bids received for things like mowing, loads of gravel, et cetera, things that you need. The recommendation is to reject these bids and to re-advertise. And if we get that back to the paper to run next week, we would open bids again on your February 18th meeting, the second meeting in February. That would also give us an extra week during the bid process to call some of the people that are currently doing your services to make sure they realize that we're advertising and make sure that they can submit a price. I just don't think we had enough.
Yes. All right. Is there a motion to reject the bids for city services and to re-advertise?
And so, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's moved by Alderman Ship. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Alderman Merriweather. All those in favor? All those opposed? 5 ayes, 0 nays. All right, Mr. McLeod.
Okay, on the bulky and rubbish waste collection, we had 3 very good competitive bids. The low bid was from Waste Connections Incorporated. It's my recommendation to accept their bid. And if that is what this board decides to do, I will prepare the draft contract and send that to the board and mayor for your review, within the next week before anything is sent to Waste, Connections.
So Waste Connection was the lowest bid?
That's correct, yes.
What's the best?
This,
Uh, in my opinion, yes.
It needs an
it,
executive
it,
session?
yeah, she beat me to the, if it's an executive session issue, if you want to express why one is better than the
Well,
other, you might want to do it.
as someone who hasn't dealt with them very much, I personally don't have a reason to say why they would not be the best. I know this board, this town, of course, deals with them more than I do. Based on the proposals, they were the lowest. I don't know that I am qualified to say if they're the best or not. So,
I mean, I guess compared to some of their, what they were offering to do, the prices.
the prices were very competitive with what you're currently paying. The other two are from a little farther away and were substantially higher. So,
All right. Mrs. Lewis, any thoughts?
I concur with what you said.
All right. Mr. McLeod has set your recommendation.
yes, ma'am.
All right, is there a motion to accept the Waste Connection bid as the lowest and best bid?
I move to accept the Waste Connection, bid as the best bid, or the lowest bid.
Are you taking best out?
I think that by statute, you have to have the lowest and best.
Lowest and
That-
best.
Yeah.
All right, is there a second? It's been moved by Alderman Schiff, second by Alderman Jones. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes 5 ayes, 0 nays. And Ms. Lewis, are they our current provider?
They are.
All right, then. Thank you so much, Mr. McLeod.
All right. Thank you.
We'll, be in touch. Did we do that motion to re-advertise? Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes. We'll start that process.
Yes, sir. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, then. I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session.
Motion, we go into closed session.
more department.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, speak up. I'll move on. I'm already past my time.
Oh.
How
All
are
right.
you? I keep going.
Oh, how is everybody doing? I'm not gonna be long. I'm gonna really be 3 minutes. Okay. I have, we're in the need of a department for some more radios. The current radios that we have now, we're experiencing where we're having a lot of dead spots and stuff.
Did you meet with a gentleman that, will talk with, is Chief Crane still here? I keep saying Mrs. Crane, but I don't see him. Did you meet with the gentleman that Chief Crane had, because he had some really good opportunities, I believe?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so why don't you get with him so that we can get the quotes and see if we may be able to get a lower cost based on the number of our departments getting, radios from him. Chief Crane, is that opportunity still available?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you'll get with him on that and see. I don't know, the gentleman came, one day up, so I don't know what happened. But you'll
Okay.
get with him and meet with him, and somebody you can meet with in person. We can take a look at that and check the budget to, make sure that it's something we can do, or they have a plan we can do.
Okay, all right. Yeah, cause I'll meet with him. I know I had already had a quote of a few radios, but I'll meet with him. And also one other thing I wanted to, discuss about our, heating at the, police department. In the front part of the police department, we have heat, but the back part, we don't have any heat, like in the patrol room. Is because with the temperatures falling and it's be real cold back there. And so if we could, I can get permission I can call a company to come out to look at it or.
You know, and we have someone to come in this summer or last year.
Yeah, that was with the AC unit. They did repair
So is
that.
there a whole entirely separate system, or is it not run with the same system? Because because if it is, then I think we should call the person back to see if that was something that they already.
Yeah, I know that, that's the same system. I know they fixed the AC, but they didn't do anything with the heating. So that'll be something separate as far as
So I wasn't aware that had gone back out, but I'm trying to see who was the last person there. Let us look in the AP system and see who's the last person who was there. We can call them and we can give somebody else a call as well.
Okay, all right. And just the other things I discussed the last time about the flooring and the ceilings at the police department, we can look into getting that repaired. So that's about it.
Okay, thank you. Motion to go into closed session.
When we go into closed session, sorry about the meeting for executive session.
I'll second.
Cindy, it's a move on Alderman Jim, second by Alderman Townsend. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes 5 ayes, 0 nays.
Yeah, that's why I was something, told something, so I was asking what you was gonna put and told something, so I could put it in the difference. You know,
Yeah. That's what we're reading.
Sound cold.
I'll get to go tomorrow. Yeah. Hold my hand. When you gonna do the right?
I just, I have to take, I wanna make sure that, yes, ma'am. I don't, yeah, I was saying, right, that's why.
Yeah.
I finally got it.
Y'all gotta see the building. I'll say it. Maybe I'll say it. He got it. That's y'all get a great. Okay.
Thanks for what I feel about everything.
As general manager.
Yeah, that's why I know.
Been on for years.
Oh, that's left up to, municipal, sometimes they just say, no, you haven't received the letter. Provide a good That was a good one. That was a good one too. Normally they'll send a letter, like where the other.
Yeah, like me, boy. You get my age, man. I never loved the name. What? No, 64, man. So you know those springs, I just lived my life. Yeah, but I been. Well, I think 45. Tonight, I felt like 8 years, of course. God, keep that. I got it in me, what's the condition item? I'm still get around. You come, you later, you know, keep the whole time. Oh, just mine. Oh. Case. Like I said, 63. Oldest teenager in our now, I don't know my name is Simon. This one, they got to respond to I'm just walking.
The board voted to go into executive session, to, discuss, prospective litigations, and personnel matters in the utility department. We appreciate your patience. Ms. Stinson, give me a call tomorrow. We're not gonna. Motion filed with all that treatment is PDA, and then politics. I think they had to get something. Well, because they didn't, because they played politics, we didn't find out anything until later. They got the, I'll tell this. I can do that out here. I can do that part out here. I can do that out here. I can do that out here.
Hope to be there next time.
All right, you all, board is voted to come out of the executive session. No official action was taken. Is that correct, Madam Clerk?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and so, but one of the things as we were exiting, there was a question regarding the Public Service Commission. That matter, I had addressed it earlier. And so there was a question regarding the information and how quickly can be received. So let me express this stated, and it's a part of the records for this matter. Of course, we know that several of our employees received subpoenas, of which Attorney Perry did file a motion to quash those. Then we finally had the blessing to retain Blackman & Blackman Law Firm, who have been zealously representing us. As they started, we met with them and worked to pull together information so they could be properly and adequately prepared. They filed a motion with the Supreme Court in an effort to have the matter stayed. The Supreme Court did initially stay it, and they granted a certain time period for the state of Mississippi, the Public Service Commissioners, to respond. And I believe that was last Friday. Attorney Perry, jump in and help me because I don't have notes in front of me. So they gave them until Friday to respond. And so the state of Mississippi Public Service Commissioners, they did respond to that. Their representatives did. Of course, the hearing was scheduled for today. The Supreme Court did not execute an order or release it until at some point late yesterday afternoon. In that order, they dismissed the city's motion that was filed by Blackman & Blackman. However, they said that the matter should be filed in the circuit court. We were blessed to have excellent attorneys who were in the area, who at that point in time, they did go ahead and draft a new motion, filed it with the new court, because now you're talking about a completely new jurisdiction. And so they worked on that. They did put me on notice once they had moved it forward. They said, well, you may have to be in Jackson tomorrow. At that time, I asked as to whether any of the other employees, and they said no at this time, but they told me to be ready just in case, because they were filing it, but they were not sure as to what was going to be signed. And I had met with the employees who had been subpoenaed prior to this. We met several times requesting documents and also making them aware as to that we still have to prepare and get ready. But they did more than their due diligence. They were successful in filing a new motion with the Hinds County Circuit Court, and that motion was granted to stay, and that's why the proceedings did not move forward today. But it was a matter of that you could say they found out when we found out. It is part of the game that is happening. The city of Holly Springs is being treated very differently. This is not the first time that this type of matter has happened, or the Public Service Commissioners have had a hearing. This is one of the first times that they have not voluntarily even granted a stay, so that the alleged defendants would have an opportunity to properly prepare and respond. And I will say this, it is politicking at its finest. We have seen the different parties who have joined in this matter like they have never joined in anything else. But I want to thank the Blackman Law Firm for jumping in and making sure that we were covered, because part of the intent was that we would not have time. And the other egregious side of it was that it was going to be on a meeting day and in Jackson, Mississippi. and that we were going to have to be there that morning. And so, but once we found out, and of course, there was some information, so I made sure that employees, because I had notified them that I would let them know. So I hadn't talked to them because they weren't having to go. So there was no need to disturb or have people upset. But once I found out that some people were confused about it, I did contact them. But Blackman and Blackman, we probably can. Alderman Merriweather had inquired as to perhaps talking with them with an update. Nothing new has really changed, but I'm sure they won't have a problem with the telephone conference to update perhaps at the next meeting to see where we are, because they have been running. I know when I talked with her, she was in motion when she put me on high alert. And I said, well, there is gas in the black truck. I'll be there. And so, but they have done their due diligence, because this is not just a legal case. This is a political case. And so we find that so many different people are involved with it, and they are managing to work through it and work around it. And I thank God that they were able to get it resolved. Trust and know that as soon as I know something, I will definitely let you all know. But I will email them as well to see if they're available for a telephone conference at the next meeting or at a different time that you can ask them the questions. And we're continuing to pull together the information. We've emailed some, we've overnighted some, but in addition to the initial request we received, Attorney General Lynn Fitch also joined into the case with public service commissioners, and she actually filed an extensive list of requests of documents and information also regarding our utility department. And so that is quite time consuming to scan and to provide that information. I will be meeting with our team again this week so that we can see where we are, what we have, and what else we need to put together so that we can be ready. Because even though the Hinds County Circuit Court has given us a stay, I'm not sure how long it is. I'm not sure if it's going to be scheduled or what it all included, because I have not seen the actual document, but I will ask them as far as the telephone next week. You're welcome. All right, if there's nothing further, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn the meeting this afternoon.
It's been moved by Alderman Merriweather, second by Alderman Shipp. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes 4 ayes, 0 nays, and 1 absent in Teal.